Hello. So today I was kind of moved and led by Spirit to discuss the importance of letting go and the different ways that we can kind of approach or have a gentler perspective or method for dealing with what can sometimes be a very difficult feeling and experience when we have to be in the process or flow of letting go. Um, and I feel like this can relate to pretty much anyone and anything, whether it's something menial like garments or household items that we've outgrown that we're giving away to Goodwill, or something that just no longer serves its purpose in our lives in that respect, all the way to something that can be even much more difficult and emotional and sometimes painful, which is letting go of maybe a sense of self that doesn't serve us anymore, or a way of thinking or being or doing certain things that don't serve us anymore, or even a person or a relationship that is no longer relevant or beneficial to our experience. Um, and I think for a lot of us, letting go is something that we dread because it has to do with letting go of control, things out of our control, and sometimes happens whether we want it to or not, or whether it's our choice or not. I think also it can be something that can trigger old wounds and be a very deep kind of rooted thing that we've had for a long time, perhaps even for a full lifetime or many lifetimes, that we have to now uproot and pull out and clear the way to allow new energy and new foundations to form. And then other times it can be a blissful, gentle experience where, it almost feels like a refreshing change or a wave that kind of washes over us and brings relief and clearing and cleansing, and sort of thank you for removing that thing that was no longer helpful, and now something fresh and vital and helpful and beautiful can enter. But I think if we change our perspective of looking at it as something, kind of fearing that dread, that control loss, or that, change, if we can kind of look at it as more of a helpful friend or entity from the universe, that's sort of tapping us on the shoulder and saying, it's time for you to look at some of these old patterns or these people or these situations and find a way to gain that courage and strength within ourselves to release and really be present in the moment and in the flow of what is necessary for us to become the thing and person that we are meant to be in this lifetime, and in the broader picture, for our soul's enlightenment and fulfillment on its soul path and journey. So I think I'm going to close with an interesting image and an experience I had recently with my son at the ocean that sort of was the embodiment of what I'm talking about, where at one point I looked over and he was floating on his back in the waves in the shallow part of the ocean. And in that moment, I realized this is the epitome of the lesson and essence of letting go. Here is this beautiful soul who is floating and allowing the ocean, aka the universe, to support, and trusting that he is supported, but also being aware of these waves that could or couldn't come, and looking up at the sky and connecting. And it was just so many things happening at the same time. That dichotomy of, what's going to be coming down the road, and I need some awareness and attention to that, but simultaneously I have to completely let go of that because I don't know what that's going to be, and just release and be supported and embraced by the flow of the moment, and in that find peace to let go and trust that therefore what's meant to come will come. So letting go, embrace the day. Namaste.